So you start feeling special, right? You feel chosen. After all, not everyone gets to see this side of her. She's trusting you with her most intimate secrets. And what do? You dive right in, offering sympathy, advice, comfort. You become emotionally invested in her so-called healing process, even though this trauma is something she's been carrying for years. But here's the twist: this vulnerability isn't real. It's manufactured. It's a tactic. Why? Because the covert narcissist isn't seeking a genuine connection. She's creating an emotional bond that only she controls. By revealing just enough of herself, she hooks you into her world. She makes you feel needed, wanted, and most importantly, responsible for her emotional well-being. Think about it. When someone shares something so personal with you, so raw and painful, you feel an instant obligation to protect them, don't you? You start thinking, I can't let her down. She's been through so much. I need to be there for her. And just like that, you're hooked. You're emotionally invested, and she knows exactly what she's doing. Let me give you a more specific example. Imagine you're in a new relationship, and on your third date, she opens up about a traumatic childhood experience. Something about being abandoned by her father, or her mother emotionally neglecting her. She looks at you, vulnerable and teary-eyed, and says, I've never told anyone this before. I trust you. You feel honored. You feel like you're the one person she's finally letting in. You offer reassurance, telling her how brave she is for sharing such intimate details. In that moment, you feel like your bond is deepening, like you've crossed into a level of connection that most people never reach. But what you don't see is that she's already setting the stage. She's placed the bait, and you're about to take the hook. Because now, you're emotionally entangled. You've started to believe that she's this delicate, wounded person who needs your constant attention and care. You'll start believing that you're the one who can heal her. But in reality, you're just filling her emotional void, and she's using you to do it. So, what happens next? The covert narcissist will continue this game, always shifting between vulnerability and need, but never truly allowing you to connect with her in a healthy, reciprocal way. She'll keep you emotionally invested while she remains emotionally unavailable. And here's the most dangerous part. The deeper you get into her world, the harder it becomes to see the manipulation. But once you recognize it, once you realize that her vulnerability isn't genuine, you'll be able to protect yourself. This is where the covert narcissist pulls the strings from behind the scenes. They make you feel responsible for their emotional state, and they know how to trigger it at will. You might think their emotional reactions are just natural responses to situations, but the truth is, they're calculated moves designed to manipulate you. This is called emotional hostage-taking, and it's one of the most powerful tools in their arsenal. It's where your feelings of guilt, fear, and even love become weapons she uses to control you. The covert narcissist will expertly trigger your emotional instincts, making you feel like you must fix her emotional state. If she's upset, you're the one who must make her feel better. If she's angry, you'll feel responsible for her anger. And if she's disappointed, you'll carry the weight of her dissatisfaction. Let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you're in a relationship, and one evening, you notice your partner is distant and cold. When you ask her what's wrong, she tells you, "Nothing, I'm just tired." But as the evening progresses, she gets increasingly upset, snapping at you over minor things. You try to comfort her, but she pulls away, shutting you out. Then she says, "I don't know why I'm like this. I guess I just expected more from you. Maybe I'm just not that important to you." Now, notice what happens here. This isn't just her having a bad day. It's emotional blackmail. She's making you feel responsible for her mood. Instead of acknowledging that her emotional state is hers to manage, she's forcing you to question your actions, your worth, and your relationship. She's using guilt and fear as tools to keep you hooked, to make you feel like you owe her emotional labor. The covert narcissist doesn't need to raise her voice to control you. She uses your emotions, your empathy, and your desire to make things right as silent chains that keep you bound to her needs. Did I really say that? You're remembering it wrong. You've probably heard these words in an argument, right? Maybe from someone close to you. But when a covert narcissist uses these phrases, it's not just a disagreement. It's a psychological strategy designed to warp your sense of reality. This tactic is called gaslighting, and it's one of the most insidious weapons in their arsenal. It's how they manipulate your perception of events, making you question your memories, your judgment, and even your sanity. Over time, gaslighting erodes your confidence in your own mind, making you completely dependent on the narcissist's version of reality. Here's how it works. The covert narcissist will deny things you know to be true, invalidate your experiences, or twist facts to make you doubt yourself. They'll distort reality, making you feel like you're crazy or overreacting. For instance, you might clearly remember a conversation where they promised something, but when you bring it up later, they'll say, "I never said that. You're making things up." Or, when something goes wrong, they'll shift the blame entirely onto you, leaving you feeling responsible for problems that weren't yours to begin with. Think about a time when this might have happened in your own relationship. Perhaps they've told you that you're too sensitive, that your reactions are irrational, or that you're the one causing all the tension. In the moment, it might seem small, but over time, these repeated incidents chip away at your perception of reality. You might start questioning if you're really remembering things correctly, if your emotions are justified, or if you're just being too much. And the worst part, you don't even realize you're being manipulated. The covert narcissist isn't just trying to win arguments. They're trying to control your reality, to make you doubt yourself so completely that you become reliant on their version of events. Ever felt like you're constantly walking on eggshells, just waiting for that rare moment of affection to keep you going? Maybe she's distant and cold for days, and then, out of nowhere, she gives you a compliment, a hug, or a sweet word. For a moment, it feels like you're on top of the world. But then, just as quickly, the warmth disappears, leaving you craving more. That's the covert narcissist's secret weapon, intermittent reinforcement. Intermittent reinforcement is a psychological tactic used to keep victims hooked, always chasing that next moment of affection or approval. It's not about consistency, it's about scarcity, offering just enough warmth to keep you invested while pulling it away just as quickly. Think of it like a slot machine. You pull the lever and sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But when you do win, it feels like an emotional jackpot. The covert narcissist knows exactly when to deliver that hit of affection, maybe when you're feeling low, or after you've made a sacrifice to meet her needs. It's just enough to make you feel seen, to make you feel like she's capable of giving you what you've been yearning for. But here's the catch. Those moments are fleeting. After the high, you're left feeling empty, desperate to earn more of her approval. This is where the cycle becomes addictive. Just like a gambler who hits the jackpot only occasionally, the victim becomes addicted to those rare moments of connection. The more you crave it, the more you work to earn her affection, even if it means sacrificing your own emotional needs. You think that if you just try harder, do more, give more, you'll finally get the consistency you crave. But instead, you're stuck in an endless loop, always chasing that fleeting moment of emotional reward. The more you chase, the deeper you get trapped. It's not just your emotions they attack. Over time, the covert narcissist systematically undermines your confidence, making you doubt your own abilities and judgment. You start questioning everything. Am I doing this right? Did I make the wrong choice? Am I good enough? These doubts aren't your own. They've been planted by the covert narcissist, slowly eroding your sense of self-worth. This tactic is called competence assassination. They don't need to directly attack or belittle you to destroy your confidence. No, they prefer a subtle approach. They'll make small, almost invisible comments that chip away at your belief in your own abilities. Over time, this leaves you second-guessing every decision you make. For example, imagine you're at work and you present an idea during a meeting. The covert narcissist, in the guise of a colleague or boss, subtly critiques your approach. "Well, that's one way to do it," they might say, before offering a better solution that makes you feel like your idea was flawed. At first, you brush it off, but over time, you start doubting your judgment. This tactic works perfectly in relationships too. Maybe at home, you suggest how to handle a problem. The covert narcissist might dismiss your solution with a gentle remark like, "Oh, I see what you're saying, but I think I'd do it a bit differently." Slowly, your confidence erodes. You begin to question your every move, relying more and more on their superior judgment. Can you think of a time when you started second-guessing yourself after a subtle remark from someone? The covert narcissist thrives on making you doubt your abilities so that you become increasingly dependent on them. You feel like you can never do enough for them, don't you? No matter how much you give, it always feels like it's never enough. That's the covert narcissist's guilt machine at work, designed to keep you emotionally indebted to them forever. They have perfected the art of making you feel like you owe them something. They position themselves as the martyr in the relationship, constantly making sacrifices, while you're left feeling like you can never repay them. But here's the catch: you're never meant to repay them. This guilt trap is a never-ending cycle, designed to keep you feeling like you're always in their debt. They remind you of the sacrifices they've made for you. "I've done so much for you. I just don't know how much more I can give." These comments will make you feel guilty for even thinking about your own needs. Can you recall a time when you overcompensated to avoid feeling guilty? Maybe you sacrificed your own plans or needs to appease someone, only to find that it still wasn't enough. This is the cycle the covert narcissist traps you in. You give, you sacrifice, but the debt is always growing. And the more you try to repay them, the deeper you fall into their control. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking free. If anything we've talked about today sounds familiar, please know that you are not alone and what you're feeling is valid. Help is available. Seeking guidance from a mental health professional can provide you with the tools to navigate these complex dynamics and reclaim your sense of self. Thanks so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content. Stay safe and take care.